For boys growing up just after World War II, one name meant more than any comic book hero or cowboy movie star: Audie Murphy. You didn't need to know all the details, you just needed to know this: he was America's most decorated soldier, and every kid wanted to be like him. Hollywood gave us heroes like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, towering men with chiseled features and a rugged presence. But real-life heroes? They don't always fit the mold. Audie Murphy stood just 5'5" and weighed barely 110 pounds. When he tried to enlist, the Marines turned him down. So did the paratroopers. He was too short, too small. But the U.S. Army said yes, and that changed everything. Murphy trained at Camp Walters in Texas, and then at Fort Meade in Maryland. He was young, quiet, and physically unimpressive, but once deployed to North Africa, his instincts as a soldier began to shine. He fought through Sicily, landed at Salerno, and joined the brutal campaign at Anzio. In Rome, he marched with the Allied forces as they claimed the city in June 1944. He wasn't just surviving, he was leading, growing into a warrior. After Rome, his unit trained for another dangerous mission, the invasion of southern France. They landed on the 15th of August, year 1944, and faced hell for 7 weeks. Murphy's division suffered 4,500 casualties, yet he rose through the ranks, proving himself again and again. By the end of the campaign, he had become the most decorated man in his company, but his most legendary act of heroism was still ahead. On the 26th of January, year 1945, Second Lieutenant Audie Murphy was leading Company B of the 15th Infantry Regiment near the village of Holzwihr, close to the Rhine River. It was bitterly cold, and morale was low. Then came the German attack: 6 tanks and hundreds of infantry. Under intense fire, the Americans fell back into a wooded area. A nearby M10 tank destroyer was hit and set ablaze. The crew abandoned it, but Murphy didn't retreat. He climbed onto the burning vehicle and manned the .50 caliber machine gun alone. For over an hour, Audie Murphy held his ground. Firing non-stop, he held back the German forces, even after being wounded in the leg. He called in artillery strikes dangerously close to his position and continued firing until the ammunition ran out. Only then did he limp back to his men, refusing medical attention. He rallied them and led a counterattack that drove the enemy back. When asked how close the Germans were during the assault, Murphy reportedly replied, "Just hold the phone and I'll let you talk to one of the bastards." In April year 1945, Murphy received the Medal of Honor for his actions at Holzwihr, but that was just one among many. He had already earned the Distinguished Service Cross, 2 Silver Stars, 2 Bronze Stars for Valor, and 3 Purple Hearts. He was also decorated by France and Belgium, and he did it all before his 20th birthday. When asked why he did it, his answer was always the same: "They were killing my friends." After the war, Murphy returned to the U.S., but peace was elusive. Actor James Cagney invited him to Hollywood, paying for acting and dancing lessons. Murphy struggled at first. He wasn't a natural in front of the camera. Still, his status as a war hero kept him in the spotlight. He starred in Bad Boy and The Red Badge of Courage. Over the years, he appeared in 44 films, mostly westerns. He wasn't known for great acting, but Americans admired him for who he was. In 1955, he agreed to play himself into Hell and Back, a film adaptation of his memoir. He had been hesitant, reluctant to relive the trauma, but the film became the biggest box office hit in Universal Studios history at the time. It held that record for 2 decades, cementing his legacy on the screen. But behind the scenes, Murphy was haunted. He suffered from what we now know as PTSD. He had nightmares. He slept with a loaded .45 pistol under his pillow. He struggled with insomnia, anxiety, and depression. His first marriage, to actress Wanda Hendricks, lasted just over a year. His second marriage endured, but personal peace remained out of reach. In the 1960s, his mental health worsened. He became dependent on sleeping pills. He made poor investments, had tax problems, and by 1968, he was bankrupt. Gambling drained what was left. On May 18, year 1971, Audie Murphy boarded a private plane bound for a business meeting. Heavy fog near Roanoke, Virginia, cloaked the mountains. The plane crashed into the side of one. Murphy and 5 others were killed instantly. He was 45 years old. Audie Murphy was buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery. His grave is the second most visited in the cemetery. Only President John F. Kennedy's receives more visitors. Many leave toy soldiers at his headstone, tributes from children who learn, even briefly, about the boy who became a warrior. He came from nothing, a Texas farm boy who never finished school, a young man considered too weak to serve, but he became a leader, a symbol of courage, and a national icon. He received every medal the United States could give, and yet today, his name is fading from memory. Audie Murphy didn't glorify war. He carried its weight. He paid its price. He was a soldier who became a hero who became a warning that even the bravest are human. A reminder that courage does not need to be loud or tall, and a call to us to remember, because a hero dies twice, once on the battlefield, and again when we forget their name. Let Audie Murphy's name live on. Audie Murphy didn't ask to be called a hero. He never boasted, never sought fame, but through sheer grit, courage, and an unbreakable will, he became the embodiment of bravery under fire. His story reminds us that greatness doesn't always come in grand packages sometimes. It arrives quietly, standing just 5'5", with a rifle in hand and the heart of a lion. Today, his name may be fading, but his sacrifice should never be forgotten. Because remembering Audie Murphy isn't just about honoring one man, it's about honoring every soldier who gave everything and asked for nothing. So let's remember, let's tell his story, and let's make sure the next generation knows what real courage looks like. If you like stories like this, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more true stories that deserve to be told. Your support keeps these memories alive.